Yo, yo, microphone checker. Uh, 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 I'm not a rapper. I'm not a rapper. Actually, I'm doing a video on my buddy Jerkstore about avoidant personality disorder. And right here's my buddy right here. RMD, the Jerkstore. Got his moment of fame on the internet. It's 15 minutes. He did a video with glow sticks in his underwear to rave music. It blew up on YouTube, like 1 million, 2 million views. That was his moment of fame, probably, in his entire life. And I've kept in touch throughout these years, even after his fame. We've kept in touch and we shoot the shit. We drop some philosophy on each other. We check in with each other. Like friends do. This generation of friendship. That's what we did. The problem is, throughout our conversations, he would always throw in, but I need to get a job. Like, I need to get a job. I need to get a job, Frank. We talk about many things, but he's always throwing in, this stage of my life, I need to get a job now. Oh, I'm definitely going to get a job now. Oh, I'm going to get one. Oh, my daughter, I'm low on money. I don't know where the guy gets his money, but you can only speculate. He's obviously being funded by his parents. The problem is with all he's in denial about getting a job. That's the problem. He's only had one job in his entire life. His entire life. And what is it? Right there, that's his job. He's like 19 years old, I think. Starbucks. Wasn't even for that long. I think 6 months tops. Starbucks. And that was his job. And he made a big deal about it. Like, yeah, I got a job. I'm doing it. And he hasn't had a job since. And he always saying he's got to get a job. But the dude's in denial. The problem is he has a social disorder. I'm not saying he's autistic. People have concluded that the guy's autistic. But with this generation, this guy has a disorder where he just can't go out into the real world. And they call that avoidant personality disorder. It's a social inhibition. He's hypersensitive to negative evaluation. He fears, getting a job, going to a job, performing around other people. This is why he's always doing other things for funding. When it comes down to it, he would do some internet scams, sell things, scam his way into money. No real job ever. And I'm not harping on the guy. I'm not making a big deal about it like, who am I? You know what I mean? The problem with it is, as you can see here, he's afraid to go into the real world. And he's a very good example of many people in our generation that's hitting like 30 now. That they can't get along with other people. They're like isolated brats. And that's what he is. Fear of rejection. Fear of just developing something with someone. And that's the problem. He has Arrested Development, like the TV show. And the guy actually put me onto the TV show Arrested Development. So it's kind of ironic. He can't get involved in real life. His moment of fame, his friendship in his head is through the internet. This is back in the day. Like I could put my box right here. It's like I'm there. This is all his friends. This is his crew. I'm not like pointing the finger at the guy. I'm just analyzing it because a lot of it's me as well. This is tiny chat. This is a chat room. People stay all night. They converse. This is where they get their validation. And it's all people on the internet. It's not real relationships. It's not real development. And if he's had stunted growth socially, the only difference between him and I is that I branched out into the world. As it says right here, He's unusually reluctant to take personal risks or to engage in any new activities because they may prove embarrassing. So he's not willing to engage, and he hasn't developed that. I've sort of developed it beyond him in real life. I've took some risks where I was forced, I'm not getting into detail, I was forced to socialize. And then all the drug and alcohol use, that helps. And that's what I think the solution is for this guy. He has to develop that, and he's stunted at age 15. Look at this. This is an example a few years ago. As you can read. It's like a big deal, you know? The camaraderie. Let's all get together and do drugs on the internet and like, let's bond. That's what they're doing. That's what they do. And here's like comments on his videos. There's comments on his videos. And they worship the guy. I'm not jelly or anything, but they worship the guy. Why? Why do they worship this guy? But actually, this first guy right here, that guy right there, you fucking idiot. You rich mama's boy fucking idiot wasting all his parents' hard-earned money. And that's what's going on. And that's the reality of it. Everything else, he just reframed in his mind. That's the reality of it. He's a nobody. Stunted growth throughout his whole entire life. And all these other people, they may or may not be real. They're on the internet. They're not. It's not real. And there he is in Fantasyland. I just want to get really to the crux of the issue. It's the anxiety disorder, the social anxiety, the avoidance. What do you do about it? How do you develop that? You have to branch out there. You have to take that risk, is what I'm saying. The problem with Jerkstore here, he can't branch out. It's already too late. Dude's in his 30s now. Now it's just he just buried too big of a hole in his life. And now he's like 31. He has a kid. And he's short on money. He can't keep, he can live and maintain. He can live and maintain. But the problem is, he can't prosper. His parents are going to cover him. That's what we've all deduced it, where he's getting his income. So maybe he's a trust fund baby. Maybe his parents are just paying him. Maybe he just inherited something. Either way, it's not sustainable financially. And this is why he always reaches out to me. And he tells me, Frank, man, I need to get a job. The thing is, he's in denial. He doesn't want to get a job. He doesn't. He's resisting. He can't. He makes excuses in his head that he needs to get a job, but just another drug of society. He can't get a job. He doesn't want a job. He's not motivated. Even if he's at a point where he's almost forced to get a job because financially he has a daughter now and he has to prove to the courts. I'm not going to get all into his personal shit, but he almost needs to get a job. He's being forced to. And the thing is, he's not going to be able to do it because he's covered. Until he hits rock bottom and his parents stop funding him, he'll never get a job. There'll always be some kind of excuses. And if he gets a job, it'll be short-lived, like Starbucks. He hasn't had a job since Starbucks, like a real, legitimate job. And I'm not like saying this guy's bad or anything. He's my buddy, but he's in denial. And every time I don't even say anything, but he says something about a job, I just like, under my breath, like, here you go again. You keep saying this like you've had many jobs. The way he says it, like, I need to get a job. It's like he had many jobs. He's only had one job his entire life. Dude's in his 30s now. Am I hating on the guy? Why make a big deal about it? Why choose to talk about this on a Friday night? Because I see shades of myself, and there's shades of everybody from our generation in this guy. The way he behaves, the way he avoids life, That's fine, man. You know, don't get another job. Just Starbucks. You know, but I gotta get another job. You know, the way he says it. You don't want to get another job. Just stop fucking complaining. Don't get another job. But you gotta get one. You do now because you're being pushed to the brink financially, and you have to get one because you have a kid now. It's that simple. But let's be realistic about it. You weren't made to work. I'm not calling you retarded, but you weren't made to partake in a productive society. You're not from that fabric. You're one of the many, actually, that gets carried by the top productive people in society. You're along for the ride. So am I hating on the guy? No, but I'm telling him, stop fucking lying to yourself. Because it makes me sick to my stomach when people lie to themselves. Don't get a fucking job. Don't act like you want to work. You can't get a job. You make excuses because you're socially inhibited. I'm not saying you're diagnosed with APD. I'm not saying your development's, completely stunted. I'm not saying you're not physically incapable of working. I'm just saying you have no desire and you don't want to. Nobody does, but you don't want to. Even if you wanted to, you don't want to the point where you can't. You got some kind of mental derangement, some mental roadblock, some handicap. You're handicapped. You're socially handicapped. People like you were just meant to exist. And I hate to be depressing, but it all ends the same. And this is the death of your fantasy, son, and people of your ilk.